Well, folks,
There we go.
they are.
Hey.
Oh, there you are.
What's
man.
up?
Hey.
What's
Good,
up?
man. What's going on with you?
Hey, man, how's it going?
So far, so good. I can't really complain. You know why? I got to be honest with you. I don't know if you knew this or not. Today is National Baklava Day, and that's right. National Baklava Day.
Wow.
And having a Greek mayor in the house coming on in a little bit, Mayor Bill Saffo, longest consecutive running mayor we've ever had in the city since 1790. Where is it? 1730, since 1739.
Wow.
And we have him on National Baklava Day. I mean, Billy is, to be honest with you, he's secondary, but it's National Baklava Day.
No, for sure. Like, we don't have to really talk about anything else but baklava.
We really don't. And as a matter of fact, I want to make sure I see the show chat.
I'm going to try to spell it and bring it up. Yeah, I don't know how to spell baklava.
Baklava.
Just like it's Baklava.
Yeah. Listen to me. Baklava. Baklava. Say it.
Baklava. Baklava.
Or
is it Bob?
For a black man, you are the whitest person I know.
You know what's fucked up? That's not the first time I've heard that in my life. It's growing up, you know what I mean? Sometimes I wasn't black enough for the black folks. Sometimes I wasn't white enough to be around the white folks. But hey, I'm me. If you don't like me, you got a problem with yourself.
I hear you. I hear you with my brother, JR. Hey, welcome to the Pinch of Basile show. It's Wednesday, November 17th. It's the best damn radio podcast show ever. I want to bring you Yeah, that's right. That's right. Tell them, JR. I want to bring you fantastic guests who are the movers and shakers in the news, entertainment, politics, and sports from all over the world. I am Basile, your baklava of love, along with my other Greek god, my engineer, my co-host, JR Quitman, and my ever so lovely goddess who will not be with us tonight, but we will miss her, Janice Hermson. We are thinking about you, my sweetheart. We love you. And we are indeed broadcasting our show streaming live on Twitch at A Pinch of Basile, on Facebook right now if you're watching, at Basile Fans, Basile Fans, Twitter at Basile Fans, Basile Fans, YouTube at Basile the Comedian. And if you'll see our little wonderful logo that we have, and it should be somewhere. Is it somewhere?
Oh yeah, I got you. Look, you know what? I'm slacking.
Yeah, man, what's up? What's up with that?
What happened?
What happened to you?
Go away for a week.
What happened?
Shit just goes to shambles.
Man, I'll tell you, I leave you alone for a week. And the place goes to hell with you in a handbasket. By the way, full of baklava, may I add. Okay. It's great stuff. And of course, hey, listen, we're on Anchor. And when you're on Anchor, we got 8 different outlets, including Spotify, Apple Podcasts, just to name a few. And let's not forget Greek Beat Radio. That takes us all over the world. That's right. From Australia, South Africa, throughout Europe, North America, Central and South America as well. Oh, they're great. Thank you, Greek Beat. And we're on all the various AM and FM outlets that we are typically on. I want to thank you.
I mean, sorry, Baze, I don't mean to cut you off, but folks, that means we are worldwide. If you're listening, you have a business or anything like that you want some worldwide coverage of.
Absolutely.
There's
no two ways about it.
Welcome you onto the
show. Absolutely. And the thing is, if you want to advertise worldwide, we can go ahead and advertise for you as well. We have a person coming on shortly with us. They'll be advertising his seasonings as well. So I'm really happy. Ram, that'll be you. I know you're coming on.
Okay.
And listen, of course, let's not forget, like I said, Greek Beat Radio. Thank you all so much, especially right now in London. I have a lot of my fans in London and in Australia who are watching and listening to the show. And I got the best listeners and viewers around the world. So I want to thank you all so much. You can comment on what we're talking about. We'll even answer. Listen, our guests love hearing your questions as well. They truly do. You can even call in with toll-free numbers at 844-523-2633. Like I said, I really want to hear from you, my special listeners. Go 2 social outlets, like I just mentioned, or you can even email me at Basile. You ready for this? Info at a pinchofbasil.com.
Scrolling across the bottom of the screen right now.
Absolutely.
Pinchofbasil.com.
Absolutely. Make sure you do that. Hey, this weekend, I'm going to be at the wonderful Funny Stop Comedy Club in Cuyahoga Falls, Ohio. December 10th in Edison, New Jersey for the HEPA Comedy Night. December 10th in Arlington, Massachusetts at the St. Barbara's. Barbara's, I should say. So find out more. Go to my website at Basile Live. All the dates. We just updated about 10 different dates. Corporate, fundraiser, events, private holiday parties, theater, comedy clubs, whatever the case may be. Royal Caribbean. I'll be back on Royal Caribbean, baby.
I just saw that on there. Goodness gracious. I can dig it.
Yeah, man. It's going to be, I'm going to be gone for 2 weeks. Absolutely. Wow. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Wow. Let me see. In a few minutes, our guest, who I'm really excited about, to be quite honest with you, Mr. Bill Saffo, Mayor Bill Saffo will be joining us. Very, very excited for the great city. He represents the great city of Wilmington, North Carolina. Again, established in 1739. He is the most consistent, I guess. He's been, what? Is this his seventh
term, I guess?
Seventh-term mayor.
Wow.
And, Bill is just a magnificent person. You know what I love about him? I'm going to be honest with you. You and I disagree somewhat politically, you being on one spectrum, I'm being in another. We've had Congressman Gus Bilirakis, a great Republican, out of the congressional district, I think the 12th congressional district out of Tampa, Florida. Yeah. And represents Palm Harbor area and everything. But he is a centrist. He is he's not too right. He's not, he kind of likes to work. Well, Bill's the same thing. Bill is a Democrat who likes to work with other people. And I refer to him as a centrist. And I like centrists. A lot of people are always complaining, oh, I can't believe it. Why are you, how come you're a Republican? You're racist. Yeah, says the person who, look who I got as a co-host right now. I'm racist. Woo, man, you got me. Sorry, you got me.
And it goes every which way, man. And it just thinks that it stinks that people just can't accept people for people. No matter who you vote for, no matter who you choose to marry, no matter you follow religion, no matter you choose whatever. Just fucking enjoy people. I'm sick. I just don't like people not being together.
I don't like that either, to be honest with you. I gotta be honest with you, man.
It's stupid.
It is stupid. And the thing is, you want to label me? Really? Yeah. You know what I do for a living. You know where I've been all over the world. It doesn't matter if you're black, white.
What was your minor in college?
Black history.
You know what I'm saying? So that's hilarious. So for somebody.
Well, let me tell you, it was a banner day when I explained to my father, because I had I was also economics, but I was in the College of Business. Right, so my minor was in Black history. I'll never forget bringing my degree and everything. And I finally got a chance a couple of years ago. Someone sent that I used to work with. Thank you, Mike DeCorpo, from my old law firm in Cleveland, Ohio, sent me. He goes, "Hey, I think you lost this." And it was my diploma. And I'm like, what am I going to need a diploma for in comedy? Oh, yeah? Well, look at this. I have a diploma in political science, foreign affairs. I have an economics minor. What's your other minor? Black history. So it is what it is, man. Oh, my God. Let me see. John Shelton is watching us right now. He's performing with JR at the Cheetah Club.
Yes, we are, baby. Yes, we are.
That's beautiful. As long as you're wearing that thong, it ain't nothing but a thing. Avram is indeed special. Linda Lacus Midas, I should say. Hey, Avram, I hope everything you got. Okay, she's talking to Avram. What the hell's going on?
What's going on? Hey, y'all call each other.
That's right. That's why we're here to make a love connection. Steve Tama, love baklava. Looking forward to the Galactoburico Day. That's right. Let your booty grow day. It's called Galactoburico. Say that real quick. Galactoburico.
I'm not good with rolling the R's, even with
really. What a surprise! I find this very difficult to believe.
Hey, but never mind. I'm not even gonna. I'm good with it.
You had a hard time with baklava, let alone rolling an R.
Right. It's tough. It's crazy. It's crazy.
Let me see.
That was a good one.
Steve Thomas says he loves baklava. Good for you, man. Okay. Creston, whoop. Absolutely. Louis Ali, how you doing? Angelo Romas, how you doing? Bam Davis. Hey, Bam, what's going on, my brother? You doing all right? Oh, he's my man. But let me see, Lynn. I love our listeners. I really do. Did they? You know what?
Able to talk to them. I like this communication with them. You know what I mean?
Oh, absolutely. To be able to see their comments and everything, it makes me smile. It really does. And you know what I got to do? I'm going to hold on for a second. I got to put something on here because I got to see a little.
He's not wearing pants. Did y'all see that?
No,
he ain't wearing pants.
Listen,
no pants.
Man. Okay, right. Stand back. Stand back. Look at that. Oh yeah, stand back. Stand back. Oh my God, you're a fool. Like, I don't know why I like you so damn much. My God.
Hey, it's all good. I'm not either.
Yeah.
I'm not going to prove it.
You're not wearing pants? Let me see your pants.
Hey, I'm at home. No.
Oh, you know what? Show me your pants.
If I do that, it'll get dark in the room. I do that.
Yeah, wow. There'll be an eclipse. Is it going to be an eclipse? Is that what you're saying? Going to be an eclipse. All right.
Don't spit that out. Don't you do it.
You're an idiot. You really are. I just want to tell you, you're truly an idiot. Yeah, you are a fool's fool. That's what you are. Yeah. Hey, that's all right. Yeah. Well, I hope when you're eating something, I do eat and see what happens. How did JR pass? Well, he was eating a steak, right?
Eating that good Winnie's burger that we're going to get sometime.
Oh, man. Hey, you know what? We talk about Winnie's all the time. We should get them.
You know what? That's what we should do.
Hell yes. Winnie's is, back in Cleveland, back in the day. As a matter of fact, I actually saw the old owner about a week or so ago. My uncle passed away, and I went to his funeral. And I got a chance to see the guy who owned. There was a great burger joint in Cleveland, right on, I want to say it was on East 4th Street. And it was called the Rathskeller. The Rathskeller. Don't even try because I know you're going to screw up.
Yeah. I'm going to leave that one. You good.
And they used to have this thing called the Cleve Burger. It was the juiciest, greasiest with grilled onions. Check this out. Grilled onions with cheese melted on top. You just took a bite and your face was already covered in grease. And it was a heart attack on a plate, but it was like unbelievable. Just unbelievable. And it was next to another place, which was called Otto Mosier's in Cleveland, which was right there. And they had the best, unbelievable hot pastrami, corned beef, and oh my God. That was the corned beef sandwiches were to die for. Half fat, half beef. I mean, it was definitely, those two places, it was delicious.
It sounds delicious.
Oh my God.
It sounds great.
And I'm telling you, I used to take I took a half hour for lunch because I was a court runner back then. And so I was filing papers all over. So I got a briefcase full of these, complaints and everything I had to file or liens I had to satisfy. My hands were all greasy. So I'm pretty sure a lot of the actual complaints that were filed had grease marks all over. At me. My bad. I'm sorry. My bad. That's right.
Statute of limitations. It's all good.
After a while. I'm sure.
You say
I'm sure. So what have you been up to? Have you been anything special? I know things have been crazy with your life. I know.
Things have been crazy, man, but you know what I mean? Everything one day at a time. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
She's getting stronger. It sounds like it.
Beautiful.
So,
beautiful.
Things all right. Moving right along, man.
Absolutely. And it was good to have Bam with you too.
That was needed. I needed to go be around Big Brother. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
I had to go be around Big Brother for a little bit. Sure.
And
I didn't even. I'm sorry.
No,
I didn't. All my other friends and everybody listening to Asheville, I didn't reach out to anybody else. Just didn't feel like I really wanted to. I just wanted to be around my brother and immediate family and all that good stuff, and it was good. And next time I'm home, we will get together, everybody. Sure.
Listen, and I hope, I got to be honest with you. I hope, and I'm sure they will. You got to always have, a lot of the big guy upstairs is watching and controlling everything up there. You know,
sure.
Kathy CC from Australia. How you doing, baby?
From Australia. Hello.
Oh yeah, I love Kathy.
Hello.
She's a sweetheart, big fan of mine in Australia, and it looks like, baby, you know,
that's awesome.
and what's not to love? Let's be honest. I got a shirt on with no pants, according to you, and you know, what's not to love?
Hey, sorry. As soon as you said Australian, anybody who's a fan, y'all know you're a fan of comedy. Anybody who's a fan of Jim Carrey, just instantly, anybody I hear talk about Australia, I always want to pull up to them and in a limousine, roll down the back window. Hello, mate. Let's have another shrimp on the bar. It's so stupid. That's one of the greatest. And it's the intro scene of the movie, Dumb and Dumber. It's just great. Great.
You know, I got to be honest with you. That movie to this day, because I know what a wonderful actor his counterpart was, Jeff Daniels, who is a tremendous dramatic actor, but he played that character so well.
Perfect.
Like Jim Carrey, look, we all know, comedian, very, very funny cat. But to actually have someone like Jeff Daniels come on, because I just saw, what's that new show he's got on right now? Rust? I think it's Rust. Yeah. And he is just like, wow. That's a deep, dark character.
He's a great actor.
Oh, he's unbelievable. It was so cool because we wound up having Orlando Jones on this show a few weeks ago. What a great actor and producer he is.
If y'all didn't see that movie, if y'all didn't see that episode, The Pinch of Basile, go back and watch it on YouTube. It's there.
Yeah.
Check it out.
And that's why I always tell people too, listen, for all of you who are listening and watching right now, go to YouTube at Basile the Comedian, subscribe. Look, it ain't gonna cost you a dime. Just go subscribe and then watch all the shows. And we got like I said, I'm surprised that we have not, from the people over at Mike Ditka's office and stuff. They're supposed to get back to us. I guess he's got a new cigar line.
Hey, you let the cat. Hey, I didn't say the name. I said 1985 Super Bowl world champion with the Chicago Bears. I never said head coach or player. You let the cat out of the bag. Baby.
All right, Mike Ditka will be joining us again. I'm very Mike Ditka. Yeah, and he's got a whole brand new cigar that's out, and he is probably one of the coolest cats out there. And I got a chance, and his management and everything said he's going to love you because I love smoking the cigar. I really do. Now I can't smoke it in here in my studio because of all the stuff, we have soundproofing and all that. So I just can't smoke in my office because it'll drive people away. But, I know RG Basilaris is watching. We got people from all over the world watching who we're going to have very, very shortly. As a matter of fact, our good friend, Mayor Bill Saffo, who's going to be coming on. And, to be honest with you, to be able to have the guests that we have, people, and I mean this with all sincerity, please, please, please go to Basile the Comedian on YouTube. Watch all of these shows, even the previous shows, because ever since JR came on, we had a good show. It was okay, but this show is above and beyond, has beyond something else. And I get a chance to talk a little bit of comedy. Like I said, it's called A Pinch of Basile. So you get a little goofy. We have some fun. We have wonderful guests, and we have the opportunity to, you see that little logo right there, that JR circling right there?
Well, I'm not going to click on it right now because we're live on that channel. And if I do, the audio will go all crazy and listen to it, and it'll be discussed. But just if you're on YouTube, type in Basile the Comedian.
Right.
This screen pops up.
Absolutely.
Click on that logo. And then I understand. So when you go to there, it'll give you the option to watch, watch the videos and everything and subscribe here. If I go to this one, maybe it can show you. So it's right here. I'm already subscribed to this channel, but if you click this subscribe button, you might have to put in the information like your name and an email address or something like that.
And that's really about it.
And it's free. It's free. But what that does is that helps us out, hopefully, to possibly get funded and everything, and we could bring you better shows, better equipment, live shows, equipment, stuff. And honestly,
maybe even a better.
Honestly, I'm just being straight up 100% honest. Get me out of my job, and I will be doing this professionally. That is my goal. That is my honest, sincere, 100% goal in life, to get out of news and to do this as a profession. So, yes.
Listen to the man. I mean, you know what we do, what we try to do is to bring.
Man.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I really consider, because I've seen a lot of different podcasts that are out there, and I'm not putting anyone down. They got their own thing and how they do it. What I do is something a little bit different. I like our guests that we have. We have everything from entertainers to athletes, to politicians, you name it, the newsmakers. And so we got some wonderful, wonderful, wonderful guests coming up. And don't forget, man, also December 1st, we have a wonderful friend of yours who's coming on. Yeah,
Mr. George Fontes. Look, right now he's probably not watching the show right now because he is at AEW. It's a live wrestling show tonight, and it's in Virginia, his hometown of Virginia, and everything. Excuse me. And he's at that show tonight live, which I am so jealous of because it's a great show. I know, but Basile, check this out. Yeah, I know you're not a wrestling fan, but I'm sure you've heard of Dusty Rhodes, right?
Oh, of course.
Okay. His son started this wrestling promotion, AEW. Wow. He was part of the team that started this promotion. Wow. Huge deal. And so George, he's there. And this man, he is incredible. When you meet him and see all the stuff that he's been a part of and everything, everybody's going to love him for sure.
Well, I'll tell you what, I was excited. We talked and we got him booked immediately. He has an event that he's doing, I think, December 4th, and we are going to go ahead and help him promote it. And also Tassie Callis, who was on, and she was a wonderful guest that we had, who wrote the book, What's in Yaya's Bag, or What's in Yaya's Big Black Bag, something like that. I don't have the actual.
Yaya's Big Black Bag.
There it is. And you know, she was just more than thankful. A lot of people bought her book, and I want to thank them all for supporting her.
I downloaded the audio version.
Did you?
I looked, actually not hers. I'm sorry. I looked for hers, and I don't think
it came out in audio yet. She said, I think that she was going to go ahead and actually go ahead and do the audio version.
Right. But
and there's
for sure.
It's going to be awesome. To be honest with you. So, I'm looking forward to getting the. So there's a couple of more authors that I want to be able to get on our show, and another friend of mine, Nick Furis, will be coming back on the show, and he's also going to be bringing some of. And don't forget, Ken Shamrock's going to be coming back in January.
Did y'all hear that? Did y'all hear what he just said? Ken Shamrock coming back. He was the first guest that we had on the show since I was a part of the show. Which should tell y'all something. Like, I bring the star power to the show. You know what I'm saying?
Excuse me?
First show I'm on.
Listen, take you and your damn dolls in the background. Okay, at the hell out of here.
All right, look. Okay, look. When next time we meet for lunch, we might have to go to fisticuffs and call them dolls again.
Man, the only thing I gotta do is, oh, really? You gonna put your fists up? Well, what about this burger? Oh, you're my buddy. You're my pal. I love
burger
you.
and onion rings. It's over.
Oh my God, their onion rings were delicious.
Oh man.
Man, and people saw us walk in there, two big ass grown men, and everyone's looking at us like, oh my God. And then they put us at a table that, you know, they should be putting men like us at this table.
No. Yeah, we were too big. Like, it was, I didn't want to say.
You don't want to sit there. No, listen, I'm a fat ass. I need room to expand. I got to have room to expand.
We need a table, not a booth.
And it was these wooden, and he tried to move, and the guy behind you's like, "What the hell going on?"
Hey, that is amazing, man. Being a big dude going into a restaurant. When we go to a restaurant, please ask for a booth, not a table. I mean, a table, not a booth. Sorry.
Yeah, you're damn right, man. We need a table. We need, because I don't know about you, but it seems the older I get, my ass is expanding.
Man,
now, my wife always says I don't have a big ass, and I'm like, I have what I refer to as a linebacker's ass. Okay, I got a nice trimline ass. All right, you got ass. All right, my wife would love your ass. My wife looks at me and goes, "You have no ass." It's just,
all right, hold on, Chrissy. I'm sorry. My wife just walked by. Basile just says his wife would love my ass. Just so you know. Good. She laughed and walked off and said, "Good." She said, "Good." Hey, that's live. Hey, that's live, baby.
So is it like your RG Basile says gravity is pulling at it? You might be right, Arj. You might be right, sweetheart. You might be very, very right. Oh my God! As I said, just about any minute we have our guest coming on.
Won't be long. Won't be long, everybody. But okay. So let's go back to this baklava day, National Baklava Day. So
greatest dessert ever made.
Talk about it a little bit. I'm gonna bring it up just in case people don't know what we're talking about. We got to show it to everybody.
Baklava is filo. And that's the thin, very, very delicate filo dough. And it has a combination of nuts and walnuts and syrup and honey. It is the most decadent, most delicious thing. At the Greek festival at St. Nicholas, when we do the Greek festival, the normal Greek festival, not the drive-through, but the normal Greek festival, what we do is that we take the remnants from the pan after we cut it. And then we have this huge bowl of all this remnants. And what we do is we take a huge scoop and put it in a bowl and put vanilla ice cream on it.
No, you don't.
Come on, we do. No, it is. And put some honey on top of that. On top of it, it says, here you go. You know, what we try to do is to make sure that we can give everyone we can diabetes. We truly are making
it's like whatever, whether you want it or not. Here's
you're going to get it. It doesn't matter.
You want some diabetes, baby?
You want some diabetes, baby? Is that what you want? I'll give you some peanuts and diabetes.
I was going to do that to you.
Whatever you want.
You want some peanuts, baby? I'll give you some peanuts.
Whichever you want.
Unbelievable. So very, very, I'll tell you what, and it's what we, and I love baklava, but there's another thing, and I think you would dig it too. They take like shredded wheat and they put the baklava stuffing in the shredded wheat and they roll it up and it's called kataifi. And kataifi is perhaps the greatest, unbelievable dessert with cold milk. Oh my God! But listen, I just got.
Go ahead. I'm not even going to try to spell it to try to get a picture.
You screw up normal words, let alone Greek words. Exactly. But ladies and gentlemen, let me go ahead and introduce our wonderful guest this evening. Bill Saffo is the mayor of Wilmington, North Carolina. He was appointed mayor in 2006. Re-elected in 2007, 2009, 2011, 2013, 2015, 2017, 2019, and now just 2021, he is the longest serving mayor in the city of Wilmington since going back to 1739. Bill, you look good for that age. Anyway, Bill serves on many boards and commissions, including one of my favorite organizations, the Wilmington Regional Film Commission, and on the New Hanover Tourism Development Authority Board. He is a great friend, fellow Icarian, folks. That's right, from the island of Icaria. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, the mayor of Wilmington, North Carolina, Mr. Bill Saffo. Bill, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Basile. Thank you for having me. We share the same name, but we spell it differently. What can I tell you, buddy?
Yeah, actually, because Bill is actually William, or it's Basile, or it's Basile, depending how you look at it. And everyone asks, how do you always remember your name day? Well, duh, it's on New Year's Day. Because the Greeks don't really celebrate birthdays. It's the name day that
about the name.
It's about the name, baby. It's all about the name. And I gotta be honest, Bill, welcome to the show, brother.
Thank you, Basile.
Bill, first of all, congratulations. Great victory. You're winning his election. The longest serving mayor since, and I had to check this out, since 1739. That's got to make you feel really special to be the mayor for so many consistent years, back to back to back. People haven't gotten they don't want to get rid of you. They love you. How does it feel?
It feels great. It feels great to be elected. It's an honor to be serving. It's an honor to be serving for the citizens of this great community. And when I first decided to make a run, just like a lot of people that get into politics, I wanted to do it to see what I could do to help my community, to help our city, to grow and to prosper. And it's been obviously a challenge these last going almost 18 years, but it's been something that I'm very proud of. I grew up in this city. I was born and raised here. I have obviously we have roots here in this community, and I just wanted to do my part to make it a better place. And I've also, look, I also want to say, this isn't all about me. I've got a great team of elected leaders that also have been a part of this journey with me. And of course, you know, every election we have some changes, but for the most part, the elected body has worked very well together for many years to get a lot of things accomplished. You can't get anything done in politics unless you work together. I don't care if you're Republican or Democrat, conservative, liberal, whatever your political stripe is. If people aren't working together, ain't nothing happening. When people are working together and people are talking, and look, you're going to have your significant debates on a lot of issues. Get them out there. Let's talk about them. But at the end of the day, let's focus on what we got elected for, is to better the community and to work for the citizens of this community.
No two ways about it. And Bill, what I love about you, and I've known you for, gosh, I hate to say it, 33 years.
Yeah, long time.
Yeah. And what I love about you, you weren't always mayor when I first came here. You were kind of, you know, the whole entire, you know, Saffo family was always very, very sweet and cool. Tell me a little bit about your background before I start going into the, you know, your education, how you came up to mayor. How did your family wind up in Wilmington? And it's been here for so many years.
Well, the earliest known, the one that got here first, I believe, was my grandfather on my father's side, who I'm named after, Basile's Bill, who came here about 1903. He came here with his father and his brother, and they established roots here in Wilmington. I guess fell in love with the community, and like a lot of immigrants that come to this country, they came here for a better way of life, to make money. And in those particular days, which a lot of families used to do when they went overseas, is to make money, go back to the island, go back to their homeland, and build a nice house for themselves and their families, and just, you know, bring home the bacon. They ended up putting roots down here, falling in love with the area. My grandfather went back to Greece, married my grandmother, brought her here. Then, of course, my father was born here. And then my mother's family immigrated here in 1947, really after, you know, the World War II finished in Greece, and they had, like a lot of European countries, had civil wars. Mm-hmm. They wanted to get out, like a lot of families did, for a better way of life here in America, and came here. And my father and mother met here, and the rest is history. Then they had 5 kids. Of course, I'm the oldest of those 5, and born and raised here in Wilmington. Went through the public school system here, went to the university here. So I'm a hometown guy.
Yeah, you are.
I love the port city. I love my community. And, I never really wanted to go anywhere else. I mean, did a lot of traveling, went to different places around the world, but this has always been home. And you know, it's got it all. It's got this beautiful river. It's got this iconic historic city on the Cape Fear River. You've got these beautiful beaches, Carolina, Curie, and Riceville. And really, when I was growing up here, when you had about 50,000 people in the entire county, we had the run of the place. And I mean, it was our playground. I mean, we really got to do whatever we wanted here. We could fish and boat and, you know, do the things that the teenagers and people love to do in those days. I'll tell you this much. Thank God I didn't have this growing up, because I wouldn't be the mayor. I can tell you that. Not with these phones and Snapchat and all the other stuff that goes with it, and all the text messaging and emails. Good God.
Billy,
Billy,
let me just tell you this. Not everyone can lead the lily white life that I had, you know, okay, enough of that. All right. Enough of the BS. Okay.
Get out of here, man.
You're a graduate from Hoggard High School, which is great. And then you decided to go to UNCW. Did you have any other decisions of where you wanted to go, or did you just want to go to UNCW?
I had it all set up, Basile. I wanted to go to the University of Hawaii, because I had a buddy of mine says, I said, where are you going? I had no idea where in the hell I wanted to go. So I said, where are you going? And he says, I'm going to the University of Hawaii. I says, Hawaii. He says, man, the weather, the waves, we can go out there and surf, we can fish, we can hang out. I said, that's a damn good idea. So I put an application. So I was going to the University of Hawaii. Went and told my old man, hey, you said you'd help me out with the education side of it. What do you think? He says, I think it's wonderful. Go for it. Have a great time, but I ain't paying for it. So when we started putting it all together and figured out what it was going to cost me, I says, hell, I'm not going to be working all the time. I'm not going to be out here surfing and enjoying my damn self.
I got 4 other kids I got to handle.
Yeah, so I said, what the heck? I'll try to emulate that same thing here at the beach somewhere, somehow. But I ended up at UNC, wonderful. And I got a great education there. In those days, there was probably about 5,000 students. Today, it's got 18,000.
Right.
But in the years that I was going to the university there, we were taught by professors. Today, it's professors, assistants, and what have you. And
Right.
I'll never forget this, Basile. $389 a semester.
Yeah, I remember those days.
I
remember those days.
A semester.
Wow.
And we talk about affordability today and how it's out of the reach of some people today financially. But $389, and I think I got one of the best educations you can imagine, and ended up getting in the real estate business. My father had a real estate company here, and learned that business. But I always wanted to be in some sort of public service. I've taken political science when I was in school. Politics has always fascinated me. In fact, the first campaign, believe it or not, that I worked on as a kid was a guy by the name of Nick Galifianakis.
My God, Zach Galifianakis
is his uncle.
Yeah, okay.
Zach Galifianakis' uncle ran for the United States Senate against Jesse Helms in 1972.
Oh, wow.
Lost that race by about 3 points to Jesse Helms, but people don't realize that Richard Nixon at the time took the state of North Carolina by 75%. And if that hadn't happened, probably Nick Galifianakis would have been the United States Senator. But anyway, I got the bug then. Wow. And I said, I've got to get into politics. And at some point in time, when I figured I could afford to do it, because it is a commitment, it's public service, I went for it, and I won. And
when you said 1970, this was 72?
72, I was 12 years of age. And
right.
We were going around putting flyers on cars, putting signs up, going to rallies, and Nick Galifianakis in those days, that was a hard name to pronounce.
Don't even ask JR to go ahead and do that, but he has a hard time with
going into convulsions trying to say that.
That was a very hard name, but he was a congressman actually from Durham, North Carolina, and served for a number of years in Durham for that area, and decided to make a run for the Senate, won the Democratic primary, and then ran against Helms for the United States Senate.
As a matter of fact, for a little history lesson for those people out there, this is the time when Richard Nixon wound up beating McGovern. I think took 49 of the 50 states.
That's right.
I think if I remember correctly. So that was a little. Yeah, I know how I got involved in politics.
How's that?
I got so fed up and upset of what happened in Tehran that I always felt that we needed stronger leadership. And I remember working for Ronald Reagan. And he was the first president I ever voted for. Really? And I was just so gung-ho for Ron Reagan. And to this day, I mean, you and I talked about this. I worked on Capitol Hill. As a matter of fact, your cousin, Gregory Steele, whom I love, worked in the same building, the Rayburn building that I did I worked for, at that time, I worked for a wonderful Democrat out of Cleveland, Ohio, Congresswoman Mary Rose Okar, worked for her, but was still a Ronald Reagan fan, which irked her, but it wasn't the kind of, I suppose, the type of situation we have today where everyone just hates each other. It was everyone kind of worked with each other. If you were a congressman, Democrat or Republican, around the Great Lakes, and we had Great Lakes legislation, and I would have to go to places and get it signed off and whatnot. It was a great time. And
Reagan Democrats, they used to call them, the Democrats. A lot of Democrats that voted for Ronald
no
Reagan.
Two ways.
Reagan.
Oh, no two ways.
Yeah.
Bill, when you so you were a poli-sci major, you graduate. Okay, you got your degree. You're very, very close to the Greek Orthodox Church, which, what I love about you and I can sit in the back and we kind of nudge each other and stuff like that. And I love doing that with you. People need to know that the ethnic flair that we have here in the city of Wilmington is so diverse. Mm-hmm. And you have basically, with the last name of Saffo, it's not your typical Anglo name. And what I love about it is you have so many people from so many different parts of life here that just love you. Doesn't matter if you're a Democrat or a Republican, but they love you because of your ethnicity, if you will, that you have actually come up, and people just love that about you. And I think people need to know in the things that you do to try and bring people together, that consensus that you try to build is something magnificent that a lot of people don't have. And I give you a lot of credit for that.
Well, I've always felt that we're all different. Obviously, we all come from different walks of life. We have different journeys. From my perspective, I am proud of my culture. I'm proud of my heritage. I'm proud of my grandparents and the struggles and what they've been through, and they've become part of the American fabric. But I've always said this, that we are, and this is the interesting thing that I've always put in the back of my mind. I remember when they first came out with the genome.
Oh, sure.
They were doing the mapping the human body to find the genetic makeup of the body. What was so fascinating to me was that we are 99.9% genetically the same. Every human being out there, when you walk out that door, is genetically 99.9% the same. And we fight about a quarter of our differences. And I've always said that it's fascinating that we're so much alike in all of our genetic makeups, and yet the differences that we have as people, or as a culture, or as religion, or whatever the case may be, it's what creates so much of the angst. And I think it's all of our job as elected leaders, not only elected leaders, any kind of a leader, a person in leadership role, is to try to tone that down, to understand that we're all the same here, that our differences do matter, but our common humanity matters more. And we need to work together however we can to get things resolved. I mean, and you're right, Basile, it's become almost like you're a Browns fan, I'm a Steeler fan, and we just hate each other. And that's how politics has become. It's become so divisive that people can't even talk together. And if you can't even see a Republican or Democrat really even talking to each other. And that's ridiculous. I mean, there's so many things that both Republicans and Democrats agree upon, and yet we fight about some of these differences, and it becomes so vehement that we can't get a damn thing done. And I just think that we as people in elected positions need to do everything in our power to tone down that rhetoric and work with people, and to show that we have more in common than not.
Yeah.
Everybody wants the same thing. Everybody wants a good paying job. Everyone wants a nice roof over their head. They want to drive a car. They want good things for their families. They want to send their kids to school. Hey, everybody wants the same daggone thing. How we go about getting those things is critically important. And we just have to work together. And just, I can't tell you, in the position I am as the mayor, I see the entire spectrum of life. And I get invited to every neighborhood in town, and I get to meet all kinds of folks that I probably would have never met if I hadn't had this position. But from this unique position that I sit, I can tell you without equivocal doubt that everybody wants the same thing. And everybody feels the same way in many ways, and they're passionate about certain things. But we have to do more to get to understand one another. And I think that's one of the things that I'm beginning to find as a mayor, is that we are more diverse as a community, but we're more segregated as a community. And we segregate ourselves along economic lines, religious lines, political lines, and kind of social media and the internet has even forced more of that segregation of people into the areas and to the positions where people are starting to only agree with people that they agree with and want to hang around with people that they agree with, and not with people that may just have a disagreement with or may not look like them or act like them. And that's where I think we run into a problem in this country and in our communities, when we start segregating in those kinds of ways where we can't talk to one another. Because what I find is when people talk to one another, they can get things done. And Agreed. They understand each other, and they understand where somebody's coming from. You have to understand where that other person's coming from before you can address the issue that you're dealing with. And I think that, we've got to somehow figure that out, because because this has kind of changed that dynamic in politics.
Yeah, no two ways. Very well said. I know that JR had some questions for you as well. JR, and I don't want to, rush you on this and stuff like that, but because we were actually discussing last week, we were supposed to be on the air and we couldn't. And we had a couple of little issues, but the thing is, what I loved is that you were actually speaking at an event. JR, go ahead if you want to jump in on this.
No, go ahead, finish up. Go ahead.
It was the 1896 or
98? 1898 Memorial,
which was basically a black eye for the community back then.
Right.
And you spoke at this event, and how did that work out? How did that turn out?
Well, I think 1898 was a flashpoint in this community's history, and we have never recovered from that. Obviously, let's go back 1896, 1895. Wilmington was a very diverse city, the largest city in the state of North Carolina. The population at that time was about 50% to 52% African American. And after that time, the dynamics of the community changed. A lot of the African American community left town for fear of their lives. And it kind of put Wilmington into this state of flux. Your labor force left, and there was a fusion government here where people were working together. And it was I think, well, what we can gather from historic documentation is the only coup d'etat in American history where an actual mayor and elected leaders of the city council were thrown out of office and replaced with a lot of segregationists that I think in many ways took this city backwards. And,
Agreed.
Growing up in this community, I didn't really know about 1898 because it was always kind of kept hush hush till I was 21 years of age.
Wow.
At a history class that I took at University of North Carolina at Wilmington, where they talked about it. And I says, I've never heard of this. This is ungodly. And then in the 1990s, when there was a group of citizens that came together, says, we need to start talking about this. We need a healing process. We need to, engage the community and have some understanding of what happened here and what we can do to remedy these issues and start moving this community forward. And there was a group of citizens that came together and we created this monument. And then we also made a decision that we would work with a school board, school system in teaching this in the schools, and then have a commemoration where this is going to be talked about every single year so people understand what happened here. But more importantly, how do we work together and heal those wounds and move this community forward? Because one of the things that we have worked on is this new thing called the Rise Together Initiative, which was to create more inclusion, diversity, and equity in our community and our city governments. And the same thing has happened on the county side. So I think there's some very good things that are happening in understanding that we've got to do more for equity and inclusion to really get this community moving in the right direction. Because I can tell you, as a mayor of a growing community, a growing region, if you don't have diversity in your workforce, if you don't have diversity in your citizenship, you're not going to have companies that are going to want to move here and open up companies here and create jobs here. That's not where you want to be as a community anymore. You want to be a community that's open, that's embracing of diversity, and you want to be able to talk about it and in a way where people feel that you are serious about this. And I believe that we're making strides and moving in that direction, but it's going to take some time. There's no doubt about it. I mean, this thing that happened in 1898 was a terrible thing, and we still have not recovered from that. And then we had in the 1970s, 71, 72, we had the
riots,
the riots, which I do remember as a young man. I still remember vividly the National Guard coming down 3rd Street, and on every corner there was a National Guardsman, 4 National Guardsmen with bayoneted rifles. And this thing lasted for about 2 weeks. We went into curfew. Several people lost their lives. And it was all because they had shut down the predominantly African-American high school named Williston, which was a great school. And they had integrated the schools into New Hanover. And there was some issues that were going on at New Hanover High School that African-American students had concerns about, and they were voicing their opinions. And there was a movement to squelch it, to stop them from being able to speak. And that's when the rioting broke out. And that was also a very significant flashpoint in this city's history. So we've had to deal with some pretty ugly periods of racism in this community that we're still dealing with today. I think, yes, we've gotten better. I think we have a lot more diversity in the community. I think we're moving in those directions where we need to be moving, but there's still a lot of work that needs to be done. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah.
Definitely.
You know, look, I'm all about diversity. I always have been. I agree with you. If you don't take a little, we're going to make a rotten stew if we only just use meat. You got to be able to use the carrots, and you got to be able to use the peas and the, you know, this and that and the onions to create. And if you don't do that, and sometimes you got to put it in those terms because people just don't really understand. You know, listen, you and I were, you know, as being Greeks, a lot of people don't know about this wonderful organization called the AHEPA, which is the American Hellenic Educational Progressive Association, which was created in 1922. And you know why it was created in 1922 in Atlanta? Because being Greek, we were on the things to do list for the KKK. Very simply put, okay? And because we were, and I can't help it, we were just good-looking, swarthy-looking guys. Sorry, it is what it is. Bill, I know you fall short, but do the best that you can. And so,
he tries, right?
So what happened was that, you know, anyone, you need to have a little bit of Greek, a little bit of Italian, a little bit of Lebanese, a little bit of the Black culture, the Latino culture, of everything coming together to create this wonderful city like we have today. And yeah, you're right. It's not done. The stew ain't done, but it's still cooking.
It's simmering a little bit, you know.
No two ways.
You know, we all have different journeys, and Basile, and I'll share this into JR's. You know, when I was growing up here, understanding that I had Greek grandparents in the house that couldn't speak a word of English, that being my first language, also with a name like Vasilios Avdorinos Saffo in the 1960s, I was literally getting in fights every day at school. And the reason I had the name Bill Saffo instead of Vasilios Saffo is because of that. Because people didn't understand, what does it mean, Basile? I can't even pronounce your name. And then these are teachers in our public school system who said, I cannot pronounce your name. And, you know, they didn't have speech therapists in those days to acclimate a person that spoke Greek first, and then English was the predominant language that you were going to learn.
Sure.
And having to go through all that, understanding what your grandparents went through, the things that you had heard, even though it's not the same journey as an African American that has experienced racism in this country. It's xenophobia, but in a different light. We you know, are you Orthodox? What does that mean? An Orthodox Christian? You know, do y'all even believe in God? I mean, things like that. It's just people don't understand where you're coming from, and people don't know who you are. People don't know anything about your background. They have no idea. So there's perceptions that build. Historic biases, historic racial biases. Sure. And those are things that we have to constantly work at. Listen, this is a multi-ethnic, multicultural, multi-religious country, and you're constantly having to explain and to work with many cases, the majority of people that may be white Anglo-Saxon Protestant that may not understand what Greek Orthodoxy means, or doesn't know what an AME church may be.
Right.
You know, and these are things you just got to constantly be explaining and understanding. And that's why it's so important that the races and people are always constantly talking to one another, because if we don't understand each other, then these phobias build up and these fears build up about the other. And the Greek word is xenophobia, the fear of the other,
right?
Which is unfortunate because, like I said, we all want the same thing. We're all good people. But when we don't know each other, historic biases build up. And that's what we're always trying to break down and beat down. And it's a tough thing to do. And one thing that I will always say about this great country, as opposed to other countries around the world, we do protect minority rights. And that's very important. The majority, yes, rules, but we also protect the minority so they can feel safe in many cases. Now, a lot of people like Martin Luther King and that movement, I mean, had a fear of their life to try to get their rights. And these were tough issues that they had to contend with. And it wasn't always that way. But, you know, when you have a multi-ethnic country like this country, this great country of ours, you have to constantly be working at that and talking to one another, or you start building historic biases that unfortunately can lead people to do crazy and stupid things.
Yeah, it's so true.
So true. So true.
The Bill, I want to. There are so many questions that I have, and things, and first of all, I'm proud of you, and I'm proud of being your friend, and I love what you've done with the city. Tell me some of the things that because people from the Wilmington area know what you have done, but just give a very, very quick, brief things that you have brought to the city since you've been mayor, and some things that you are bringing to the city under your new administration, or I should say, now that you've been newly reelected. Tell me some of the things that's what's coming up that you want to bring to this city.
Well, obviously, we just finished the new park downtown on the riverfront, which I think has become a magnificent thing for our community. 7,200 people, literally sellout crowds. Has been a phenomenal boondoggle for downtown, but it's been a phenomenal boondoggle for the entire community from an economic development point of view, but also for entertainment. We also have comedians, as you well know, that are performing there now. And I think it's a great thing, and I think Live Nation is running a great operation there. When I was growing up here, downtown Wilmington was the most vibrant place you can imagine in the 60s. And to see that decline take place over the 70s and 80s and to see what happened to downtown Wilmington was something that one of the reasons I decided to get into politics is to see what I could do to revitalize downtown Wilmington. And I think we've done a tremendous job in spending a tremendous amount of public investment to drive a lot of private investment downtown. The convention center, the river walk, the streetscapes that we put in place, the new buildings and jobs that have been created down here has been great for downtown. A lot of economic development has happened here. I've always, I sit down with not only elected leaders, but I also sit down with business leaders to find out what do they want, what do they need for them to be able to recruit the best talent to our community. And what I hear from them is you've got to have things for people to want to stay here and do great things. Concerts, plays, baseball, whatever the case may be, there's got to be things for people to do. And I think that we've been able to do a lot of the things that they're asking us to do, to make the significant investments in the community that are necessary to attract those type of businesses. Then the other thing, we invest about $10,000 to $12,000 per student per year in our students through our public education process here, our public education system. A lot of those kids that go off to school, go off to get jobs somewhere else. What I'd like to see as a mayor is the investment that I'm making in those kids today, that when they go off to college or university or wherever they go, the Army or they go into the military, whatever they do, that they eventually come back, migrate back to this community, their hometown, and be business owners, make their living here, raise their families here, be part of this community. And I think that when I was growing up here, 70% of the students that I graduated with left town because there was no opportunities here. I want to make certain as the mayor, I'm doing everything in my power to create the opportunities for people, not only to create and open up new businesses here, but for business and big business to also open up operations here so we can create the business climate to keep people employed here and to be part of the community. And that's a big thing that I have tried to work on. In the last 10 years, we've created about 30,000 jobs. And it's been a great thing for our community. That's why you see a lot of apartments and developments taking place, because when you create a job, you got to have some place for people to live. And they usually are driving a car, and they usually are buying things in your community. So it kind of perpetuates on each other. We've got a great fintech industry that's been building here in the last couple of years with Live Oak Bank and with Encino. We've got the film industry is having the greatest year ever.
Yeah.
It's going to probably
back, baby. The film industry is back, baby.
Is back. Big. We've got, I think, 6 or 7 productions in town today. That industry right now is employing about 1,300 people on a daily basis, not including all the money that is being spent in the community, over $450 million a day. A lot of that money is being spent here in the Wilmington area. It's supporting a lot of the small businesses here. So we've got a lot of great things happening here. We're in a dynamic part of the state. Basile, JR, we got about 1 million additional people that are going to be moving here in the next 10 years, not in Wilmington, but the state of North Carolina. And the 4 areas of the state that have been identified with the highest percentage of growth is Asheville, Charlotte, Raleigh, and Wilmington. We're going to get the highest percentage of that growth. And you can see it happening in Pender and in Brunswick. You can see those communities growing. And we're growing now as a region. We're the southeastern region of North Carolina, and it is growing tremendously fast. And now from Jacksonville, North Carolina to Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, there's 1 million people from the 17 corridor down. So you've got a growing area. There's opportunities here. There's businesses, and the business climate here is phenomenal. We got a lot of businesses that are moving here. In fact, I'll be meeting with some folks tomorrow that are looking at opening up 2 companies here. And this is almost constant now. We're meeting with people that want to talk about opening up their businesses or their industries here or their companies here. And that's a great thing for our community and for the citizens that live here and for people that want to stay here. Because I think it's just as important that those folks, that are living here be able to get these jobs. Some of it's going to be, a higher skill set, depending on what they're looking for. But you're going to have stuff that from welding to code writing.
To production companies like Spice Rack Entertainment. So I remember when I talked to you a couple of years ago, I said, Billy, I got this idea that I want to bring here. And you said, you've been living here for 30 some odd years, for God's sakes. Thank you. Come on, bring it here. So I actually have my partner coming in the first week of December, and I'll talk to you about that at a later time. But Bill, is there anything is there a way for people to see? Is there a website that you can recommend that people can see what you are doing for the city, what's going on, how they can help, what availability there is that the city is offering them? Is there any type of a website you'd like to talk about?
Well, we have the city's website, or you can go to bill.saffo at wilmingtongov.org. You can go there, or you can go to any of our websites. We got platforms, but you can basically look at our PIO, our Public Information Office, and you can kind of say all the different things that we've got going. If you want to be involved in any kind of board or anything of that nature, we've got opportunities for people to make application to serve on committees and boards. If you want to take an active role in some of the local government stuff that we're doing. But you can always, I always tell people, I want people to be active. I want people to be involved in their government, their local governments, because I think from my perspective is, I know that the national guys get all the attention because it's on national news all the time, but the real stuff that's being done is being done at the local and the county level is where it's really being done at. And if your county and your city governments aren't doing it, it ain't happening, in my opinion. Because we're the boots on the ground. We're the government that's closest to the people. So we're always constantly hearing from our citizens. They're telling us, hey, Mayor, we need more jobs, or we need more entertainment things, or we need more ball fields, or we need more improvement to our road system. There's always something to do out there. But we've got a lot of things on our plate in this next 2 years that we'll be working on. Economic development obviously is always at the forefront. And Basile, going to your point about some of the smaller productions, we are talking right now to the state of North Carolina about looking at incentive packages for smaller production companies, because we're seeing and we're hearing there's a need for that. And the content that needs to be created today, and we're seeing a lot of this because of COVID, can run the gamut from larger companies like Netflix and Amazon and Apple to small production companies like yourself. And so it's important that we've got an industry right now that is really doing well. And by the way, we've got the possibility of another studio that is being built here, the old Coastal Beverage facility
building
off of Market Street.
Right.
It's about 12 acres. They've been using it for some filming, and the individual gentleman that does own that building is in serious discussions about the conversion of that into a full-blown studio with all the bells and whistles that is going to be needed for productions in that facility moving forward. We need the space. We just don't have enough space. Screen Gems is packed. Yeah. And we just going to need more production facilities in the future if this thing continues, which we believe it will. And talking to some of the folks at Netflix and some of the bigger operators that are here in town, they don't see an end in sight right now because they need content. And
no two ways.
That's what the whole thing is about. It's about content.
You hear that, to my investors? They need content, and we are going to give it to them.
Content is right now. Content.
Bill,
go ahead. Before you jump out, sorry, Basile, I want to, probably this might be one of the toughest questions you've been asked in any interview or anything you've been on, and I apologize if you don't want to go there or anything, but today's National Baklava Day. Is baklava your favorite Greek pastry?
You are such an idiot.
I hate to do it to you. I'm sorry.
Oh,
I know it's a tough, If everything goes.
Look, when you grow up in a Greek household and you're constantly baklava, you just kind of look at it sometimes and says, there may be something else I like. There's a lot of Greek pastries out there that I like, but that is not my favorite. Really? It's good. Don't get me wrong. It's good. Okay. And everybody's got a different taste of it. But I'm more of a koulouraki kind of a guy. I like the Greek cookies.
Not familiar.
It's a different name altogether, but it's the koulouraki.
Okay.
Don't ask him to roll an R, Bill, because he's going to screw it up. Koulouraki.
I just say koulouraki. That's my go-to dessert.
Man, let me tell you, you can have the koulouraki, you can have the baklava. You give me a tray of kataifi.
Oh my God!
A lot of it's going to be missing. That's all I'm going to tell you, because you give me that in a gallon of milk. That's going down. That's going down that night.
Let me just say this: if you're diabetic, you're definitely gonna go into a coma.
That's gonna take you. That's gonna take you there. Right?
You're gonna go down. You're gonna go down, but you're gonna go down smiling. There's no doubt about it. There's no way.
ain't no insulin in heaven. That's all I'm saying.
You guys will take 2 insulin shots before you eat it. That's
before you eat it. Okay.
but it's great. It is good stuff. I mean, how many desserts do the Greeks have, Basile? I don't even know.
From Gloria to kataifi to baklava to, florieres. You go to, my God, they got the buriko. I mean, there's
names of them sounds delicious. Just the names.
My mom used to curse. Well, people thought that they were cursing, and my mom would go, "You are just a big koulouraki."
Yeah,
and people like. You called me a what? A koulouraki.
I do want to share something with Basile and JR. And this is at the House of Prayer. They're on, 13th and Dawson. They have a little kitchen in the back. And on Wednesdays, they serve pig's feet. And I walked in, and of course, they thought they were going to freak me. He says, "Oh, Mayor, you want to have some pig feet?" I says, "Absolutely." What people don't realize is, a lot of soul food is Greek food. My grandmother used to make pig's feet, and then the dandelion. We got our own different type of green and collards and all that stuff. But we have our own version of it. But we eat a lot of soul food. It's different versions. We may be lamb-induced or octopus and stuff like that. But it is a form of soul food. And when they saw me eating the pig's feet, like I knew what the hell I was doing. They said, "Where in the world did you, the mayor, eat all these pig feet?" I said, "And they're delicious. Actually, they do a great thing. I mean, I wouldn't eat them all the time, but for health purposes." But they were surprised. I said, "No." I said, "We've been eating soul food, but it's Greek soul food, very similar to soul food, but just in a different version. With a lot."
I think we got to take him, JR. I think we got to take him over to Winnie's. I'm sure he's been there already.
I know he's been there. Of course, man.
Because that is nothing more.
They're seen this down, and I've been to it.
Well, let me tell you that I always refer to Winnie's
talk
Burgers.
About every show, I think, for sure.
Yeah, we do. They should be a sponsor, for God's sakes. But I always referred to Winnie's Burgers as a heart attack on a plate, because that is the most delicious and greasiest thing.
They do have a great burger.
They do.
But I also like Merritt's barbecue. The drive-in has got a
drive-through. The drive-in. Yeah, and it's a cool little. Like the setting, like the whole drive up and everything. I like the whole theme of it.
Sure. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
PT's does well. We know that, right?
Oh my gosh, absolutely.
There's some good local spots.
I'm trying to find the best. I've been because I love ribs. And I'm always looking for the best ribs. Sometimes, obviously, I find them sometimes when some guy's got a cooker and he's cooking it in the neighborhood somewhere, and I come up because I know that there's always good ribs and everybody's got their own sauce and their own rub.
Right.
But I'm always looking for the best ribs in town. So we go to the Carolina. What was it? The Kickback Jacks has got a good rib. K38's got a great rib. That's one of my things. What was that place in Cleveland, Basile? That was
TikTok.
The TikTok
ribs, man. You kidding me? I used to OD on TikTok ribs. I was like that, trying to find that main vein, trying to shoot that rib in there.
Right to the vein.
TikTok had a heck.
What is that place? It's called on Oleander Drive. Moe's. The not the It's down on Oleander, like near the Dairy Queen and everything.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to try that one. And Casey's got a good barbecue. I'm a barbecue.
Casey's buffet. Oh,
my lordy!
Come on. I mean, I fall asleep at the booth, at the little tight ass booth.
Casey's is great.
So good.
Hey,
so good.
Follow me, man. I know where.
Definitely.
Hey, he may get us a free meal. You never know. Man.
Hey, we friends with the man, baby.
I'll get one.
We rolling with the man.
You know, Basile, years ago, and JR, you may remember there was a place, the Country Squire. It was up in Kenansville,
right?
And they served a 72-ounce steak, which, by the way, is about 6 pounds of beef. And if you ate it with all the fixings, it's free. And so my brother,
and do you know why it's free, Bill? You know why it's free? Because you're dead. You're dead. You don't have to pay for it.
What was the movie with John Candy and the
It's about $100 meal. If you don't finish it, it's $100 or whatever. So Tony said, I can do this. I said, dude, I don't think you can do this. He says, no, I can do this. He got by about 3 pounds, and it was like, dude, I can't. It was sweating. It was sweating. Yeah, he threw in the towel. He put out the white flag. He said, just come pay. He had enough meat left that he said he fed himself for the entire week.
Oh, wow. There's no two ways.
72 ounces.
That's a lot.
I'll never forget. It looked like a cake. It was a cake. It was
crazy.
I just wanted one chance to go ahead and do something like that, but I just don't have the nerve to do that. And I'm like, I don't know if I could ever do this. You know, one day we all got to get together and definitely have a meal. Oh my God!
Always. We got to get JR and get him some good baklava and katafidi and all of it. We got to give him the sampler.
What I got to do is when we have the Greek Fest. When we have the Greek Fest, because I think, what I do when I do the interviews for all that pushing the Greek Fest, because I do all the PR for it. JR, that's where I met JR. He was running the board at WWAY, and so I was coming up, and people would attack the morning show, would attack this huge platter, and JR goes, "What's up with that? What? So I had to come and bring 2 platters. One for JR and one for the morning crew and the staff, because the reporters were coming from everywhere.
Everybody. I can't push buttons and eat. You know what I mean? They're doing everything else. I'm trying to get the news on TV.
And your sister-in-law Tia would go, "I just don't understand why you need so much, pastry. I just don't understand it. I really don't." And I'm like, "Look who I'm feeding." For God's sake.
So good.
Oh my God, Bill, so I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for being with us. And I hope you can find it in your heart to do it again one day. I'd love to have you on. What a great guest. Bill,
love to.
Congratulations again, winning the election, mayor again. So many wonderful times, 2021 since 2006. You're just a great guest and a great friend, and I'll see you at church. We'll definitely be nudging each other at church and get together. And thank you so much for being part of the Pinch of Basile show.
I appreciate it, Basile. Appreciate it, JR. I'm going to light the big candles for you, buddy.
Thanks so much, Billy. We love you, bro.
Love you guys. Take care, man.
Peace, buddy. Thank you. Well, folks, I'll tell you what, that is one heck of a wonderful interview with my good friend, Mr. Bill Saffo, mayor of the city of Wilmington, North Carolina, longest serving mayor and honestly, since 1739, for God's sake. People were wearing white wigs and white. It's just ridiculous.
I don't even talk about what was going on.
I don't even want to discuss it anymore. I'm discussing with myself that I can't even get elected to be the bathroom attendant, for God's sake. And for all of those,
look at all these comments and everything. Everybody,
oh my God!
Seems like everybody enjoyed the show, man. Let's see,
my God!
This is a good one.
Absolutely, the conversation was crucial, diverse is important.
Cultural diversity,
Cultural, yeah. I gotta get new glasses.
And you gotta look. I can read. I might not be able to pronounce some big words, but I can read.
Yeah, so you say. But listen, for all those, I want to thank Manny Miliotis, Eve Williamson. Oh, what a great voice from the past, name from the past. Manny, let me see, RJ Basilaris, thank you. Dude, look at the baby. Okay, what are we naming? Greek pastries or Star Trek training exercise? That's funny. Let me see. RG, Luli Ali, Manny again, Tasso Betas. Yeah, he's a Steelers fan, Tasso.
Is this a Greek?
Yeah, Melo Macorana. Forget it. You
Melo
don't even.
Macarena. Hey, I got that one. Melo Macarena. Ah.
Yeah, but why do you sound Japanese? Like
Melo.
you're.
Yeah, I did have to go like.
Oh my God. Thank you, Tessie. Hey, Tessie's back again. Thank you so much, sweetheart. I'm glad you're doing well. Let me see. We got so many people that Bam Davis. Hey man, thanks for my brother. You know I'm thinking about you. Eric Hill, Philip Yamaras. And I was telling Phil, got to invest in this, baby. Like we said, we're opening up a new production, actually a new studio. How cool is that? So
that's really cool.
Yeah, I'm going to see you all tomorrow night. I'm going to see you all tomorrow night. I'll be in wonderful Cuyahoga Falls, Ohio at the wonderful Funny Stop Comedy Club Thursday, Friday, Saturday. If you want to find out more about me, make sure you go to basilelive.com, BASILELIVE.com. For myself, my wonderful co-host who did a wonderful job, and especially bringing that serious question to
the hard-hitting stuff.
Hard-hitting stuff. Yeah, man, I'm done with you. I'm just saying, I'm done with you. Everyone, listen, good night, everyone.
Love you, Janice.
I love you, brother.
Love you, Janice.
I'll talk to you soon. Bye, everyone. Have a great evening.